In the future, my car is going to be like a spaceship with wheels. It'll have special powers. If I called, it would come and get me. With just a wave of my hand, the door will open, just like magic. It'll recognize me. It knows how I feel, what I'm thinking, and it will drive all by itself. It's just like home. It's just like my living room. I can feel safe and cozy. My mommy and daddy can sit together, talk to their friends 1,000 miles away, while I can sit in the front, all by myself. I can discover the whole world, go on adventures. When I get tired, there'll be a seat so comfy it feels like a cloud. Stars. I can see all the stars. There's the lion. While I'm asleep, my car would watch out for people in the street. It'll speak to other cars in a secret language. And it's going to look so cool. Like it's from the future. One day, it will be real. And I'll call it Eve.
We embarked on a project to upgrade an existing supercar to incorporate additional technology elements that would allow it to drive without a driver behind the wheel.
And there were many associated challenges with making sure that it's able to follow.
We were trying to push the limits of the vehicle and trying to push the limits of our software, and we found those limits. And as part of that, we went into an oversteer condition, and the oversteer condition just caused us to spin out. We buckled down, we pulled the car in, we found replacement parts, we had people fly in with spare parts, and we got the car out the next afternoon.
And I'm going to start getting out of the car.
Okay, good.
Do you confirm Aaron has asked to run? Is it ready? I confirm he's ready. Okay, so Steve, go to run now. Run. Here we go. Well done, Peter.
早上好。
早，Nomi。
我们出发吧。
嗨，Nomi。
播放上一首歌。
没问题。
声音大一些。
Nomi，和我们来张合影吧。
好的，准备好了吗 3、2、1，妈咪。
看脸啊！
牛敏，我们回家吧。
10分钟后到家。
in the future, my car is going to be like a spaceship. A spaceship with wheels. It'll have special powers. If I called, it would come and get me. With just a wave of my hand, the door will open, just like magic. It'll recognize me. It knows how I feel, what I'm thinking, and it will drive all by itself. It's just like home. It's just like my living room. I can feel safe and cozy. My mommy and daddy can sit together, talk to their friends 1,000 miles away, while I can sit in the front, all by myself. I can discover the whole world, go on adventures.
现场和屏幕前的朋友们，大家下午好，我是主持人 Janet 王简，欢迎大家来到未来中心北京车展店，与我们共享 Seeds 盛宴。那提醒大家一下，在嘉宾分享结束后的 Q&A 环节，提问者有机会获得300积分奖励。现场和屏幕前的朋友们可以关注 APP 上传关于 Seeds 的内容，如果被推送到首页，我们会送上100积分奖励。欢迎大家多多与我们互动。那今天为大家请到的分享嘉宾是大家再熟悉不过的斌哥，他是未来的创始人、董事长，一直在进行汽车加互联网的参与创始家企业。2014年11月，他创办了未来，致力于打造全球首家用户企业，重塑用户使用汽车的全程体验。那在过去3年多，斌哥带领未来获得了世界冠军，打破了各条知名赛道的世界纪录，正式上市高性能智能电动7座 SUV 未来 ES8。此前的互联网创业经历，让斌哥在用户体验的模式创新上有着自己的思考，这也是未来用户企业的理念本源。好的，那接下来的时间交给威廉李斌，大家掌声有请。
大家好，大家好。
Hello, everybody.
谢谢王健。
Thank you, Janet.
各位新老朋友，大家下午好。
Dear new friends or friends, good afternoon. So this is the 9th talk. I would like to talk about user experience and business model. I believe that through today's talk, you will know what kind of company Neo is. So I started to be an entrepreneur starting from 1996, and Neo is the 4th company I built up. And I had the internet background in the past 20 years. As for the business world, we saw big changes. If we go back to 1998, if you look at the top 10 companies with the top 10 value, actually there weren't that many tech companies. But if you look at the companies right now, so based on the ranking of market value, those are the top 10 companies in the ranking, and 7 of them are internet companies. Some of them used to be technology companies, but they transformed themselves into the internet companies. And we also have Tencent and Alibaba. They're also two of the top 10 companies. So why internet has such a big change on the industry? So the simple reason is, as for all the internet companies, they are very close to the users, and they are deeply connected to the users. That's unprecedented. For example, you buy things from JD.com, you place an order online in the morning, and then you get the goods in the afternoon, and you can ride the motorbike, you can use your phone to lock and unlock the bike. So internet has deeply changed our daily life. The reason behind it is it has brought very different user experience. So it has made everything more convenient, fast, and it has created more convenient connection between everybody. Just like WeChat, it has connected everybody. So that's unprecedented in human history. So the reason behind it is the change of user experience, the depth of connection of users. Technology has changed user experience. It has made human connection more convenient, which is why the internet companies have become the leaders. So we have very simple truth related to business. If we can redefine user experience, then we can redefine business model. Then we can redefine an industry. So we look at things beyond technology. For example, I'm sure you're quite familiar with Starbucks, and I really admire this company. and they invited me to the opening ceremony. And together with Edward, the founder of Starbucks, and I talked to him. I said that you inspire me because I've learned a lot from him. Starbucks doesn't just, American didn't drink much coffee. The coffee sales actually was dropping year by year. In 1980s, when Starbucks was founded, coffee was not that popular. The third space beyond home and office. So they reconstruct the foundation for their business. So right now, today in the world, they have created tremendous business success. And now their business value, their market value is around $10 billion. And there's so many Starbucks stores across the world. And for every 15 hours, they open a new store. And they have provided a space where people are willing to spend time there. So that's very remarkable. So we look, and that's how we think about the business model. It's the model for transforming user experience. So we're trying to connect its emotional experience with the technology, and that has brought us a very different perspective. And that's the model for transforming user experience. For the horizontal axis, that's related to the innovative technology. For instance, we talk about the efficiency improvement of the internet companies. And for vertically, we look at the emotional and functional experience. So what's the difference between these two kinds of experience? For example, this car needs to have a high horsepower, then that's functional experience. And as for emotional experience, this car has to look good, then that's emotional experience. If you look at this from this perspective, you can look at the past 2 decades. You can look at the great companies, how they lead the industry. There are many examples. For example, in 2007, Apple launched their first smartphone. And at that time, we can look at the phone market at that time. I bought my first phone, and that's a Sony Ericsson at college. So back in 2007, when you look back, so what are the differences? If we look at this based on the 4 quadrants, so at that time there were phones called 多普达. The name is also HTC. They have touch screen and this operation system. I bought 2 of those phones. But it's a very ugly design. And as for the screen, I didn't feel comfortable in using it. So the experience was not good enough. Although they had the functions of smartphone, but the emotional experience was not good enough. If we look at another example, they're good at the emotional experience, like Sony Ericsson. So they focus on music phones. If you look at the style of the brand, as for the music, it was pretty good. But they don't provide the touch screen, and it looks like a typical function phone. They focus on emotional experience, and they didn't apply latest technologies. And also phones which focus on standby time and how robust it is, which is a Nokia. They only focus on the functional experience. At the time, they were called functional phones, and they don't focus on the good design of the experience. If you look at the phone market, you will see that as for the true innovators, they use the latest technologies. They also focus a lot on emotional experience. And take the iPhone, for example. The standby time is not over a day, right? And every night, before you go to bed, you have to charge your phone. And for iPhone, actually, if you use it to make a phone call, it's not that user-friendly. Actually, they can do better. But we all like iPhones because as for the software, hardware, service, as for the appearance design, and also for the Apple Store, all those make you feel that They have very good aesthetics, they have high tech, and the integration between hardware and software make you feel that the experience is really good. That's rather interesting. So for companies which focus on the first quadrant, actually they are ahead of the pack in the smartphone market. And there are a lot of companies which copy them. Some are the better ones. If we look at other industries, for companies which excel at emotional experience, they are remarkable companies. Like Disney. Actually, I really admire Disney. So actually, you don't have to go to Disney. It's not a rigid demand, and your kids will grow up with. They don't have to go to Disney. But a lot of families like to go there because inside Disney, because it's a beautiful fairy tale. You can forget about the hustle and bustle of the city. You can spend wonderful time together with your family and your kids, and you can have a wonderful time there. And you can go there very often. So that's quite interesting. Of course, there's no new technology at Disney. And mobile internet is not their primary concern there. Forever they have. For those games, it's pretty fun, but it's nothing high tech. And as for Disney, they are a full entertainment company. They acquire Pixar, and that's also founded by Steve Jobs, and also like Marvel. So they focus on the emotional experience. For all the entertainment companies, they try to create emotional experience. So, which company is the most remarkable company? Of course, it's not Disney. But if you look at Tencent, they really excel at emotional experience. And actually, that's also the major source of the income. So you may play the Honor of Kings. So it's not a rigid demand to play the game. You won't starve to death. But why people are willing to invest in those games? Because they use the latest technology to provide very different emotional experience to you. And also spend $10 billion US dollars acquiring a company, and they have 150 members there. And the yearly profit is very remarkable. Dozens. So they provide very different emotional experience with entertainment technologies. So this company like Disney, Pixar, they have achieved tremendous success. So they don't focus much on functional experience. So that's a very interesting perspective. If you look at the tourist industry and also the hotel industry. For Home Inn, maybe you just have to spend a night there. That's the only thing you need. And some companies use the latest technologies, make sure that it's more convenient for you to book a ticket, like a C-Trip price line. And there are also big companies. And for some of the companies don't care how you book the ticket. They focus on the 5-star experience, like Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons. They're not affected by technology change. They're not just providing you with a bed, and they provide very different experience, very luxurious, very comfortable experience. And other companies, they don't use technologies. For example, you want to go to the suburb, you want to just use the bed and breakfast service there. For example, you spend time in a family of a local family. So it's not just getting a bed from there. You want to get local experience. You're trying to connect yourself to the local experience. And some companies integrate internet with the local experience. And that's done by Airbnb. So if you look at Airbnb's app and compare it with Ctrip's app, they're totally different from each other. You can see on Airbnb there are some bars like wishlist, explore, and stories, like words like this. But if you look at Ctrip app, it's booking the flight tickets, booking the train tickets, booking the hotels. So Airbnb is a very great company. It integrates the mobile internet technology into people's desire to explore different cultures. And that's why Airbnb has done a very good job in the past few years. For example, now if I go to the US, I don't want to book the hotel by using Priceline. I prefer using Airbnb. Like during this Spring Festival, I went to the US with Li Hong's family, so we rented a house by Airbnb. It's a very interesting experience. It's not only about booking a hotel and then that's it. You need to study, you need to explore the taste, the tonality of the house. For example, if I just book the hotel, I just ask my assistant to book the hotel, but actually when I did the booking on Airbnb, I discussed with my wife, and in this process you also created this kind of connection with your families. And then when you went to the Silicon Valley, you live in the house of a local people, then you will know how they live there. For example, I learned how the US families deal with their garbage. It's very efficient than Chinese system. So, for people who like me, who are willing to explore the local cultures, local customs, and who are willing to know the local ways of living, and Airbnb gives me this opportunity, integrate the mobile internet into people's desire to explore different cultures, because I don't want to just find a different like bed to sleep. It's just a wholly different experience. And I will find a lot of fun things in this process. And for example, if I go on business trips in Beijing or Shanghai, I will not choose Airbnb. But if a US citizen, if a US tourist, they travel to Shanghai or Beijing, they will prefer Airbnb. It's not only for sleeping. And if you look at the catering business, we also have some new companies like Starbucks. Well, it seems that Starbucks does not use the latest technologies, but actually it's not the case. Starbucks can open stores in all over the world because it uses the IT technology and some internet mindset. For example, it's direct sell company, and previously we didn't have this kind of business model. And also you might have this internet famous stores like High Tea and these new retailing brands. They focus more on the emotional experience. Or if you look at Quanjude, the roadstock brand, if other people come to Beijing, then they will try Quanjude to try the Beijing specialty, to try the Chinese delicacy. But actually, they don't want the food to, for example, to survive. Actually, it's more about emotional experience. If you want food, only food, then you just need, for example, instant noodles. So now people not only want food, but also they want eating this kind of thing more interesting. For example, they want to make this eating out more interesting. And you can see many companies, they're doing quite well in this field. And also some companies, they use the new technologies, for example, takeaway, delivery, food delivery services. They use the latest technologies, but also it's still for the basic rigid demand. And actually, if you see these interesting companies, great companies, they not only focus on the functional experience, but more on the emotional experience. Or I can take another example. You all like take photos. For example, there's one company Kodak, which has been removed from the market actually. Previously, when Kodak was established, it's in the first quadrant, and then it's removed from this quadrant. So actually, this kind of quadrant, it follows a tilted line at a 45-degree angle. Previously, if you provided emotional experience and then you switch to functional experience, then you will be eliminated from the market. Or if you don't use the later technologies, then you will be eliminated from the market as well. Some companies like Leica, they're not influenced by times, or Huawei had a phone equipped with Leica camera. It's more about a brand image. It's less about the technology and function. It creates a yearning for history, for mechanic aesthetics. Or Hasselblad, this kind of brand, is more posh and expensive. But some of these camera brands are replaced by mobile phones. But actually, we're not only taking pictures, we want to share our pictures, we want to create engagement and interactions. We hope other people can repost our pictures. That's what WeChat movements are doing, and that's what Instagram is doing. Pictures are not pictures by themselves. It's more about a social element. And also Douyin. You don't have to use Douyin. It's not rigid demand. But you want to use Douyin for fun. So this kind of new technologies have brought about this new emotional experience, and there are a lot of room for innovation. Or I can give you more examples in terms of payment methods. Previously, we use cash. Actually, I haven't used cash for a long time. A few days ago, I had a meal, and they asked me to use cash, but actually I only had 2 RMB in my pocket. You will find that technologies in advancement have changed the payment methods. For example, Alipay. But what's the difference between Alipay and WeChat Pay? Sometimes people are not willing to pay by Alipay. Have you thought about this? The reasons behind it? Actually, the name of Alipay is not good. Like, Alipay is only about pay. It's just the payment itself. But WeChat Pay is different. Because by WeChat Pay, you can receive lucky money, you can receive red packet. So sometimes you will receive this like surprising lucky money. Sometimes you only, for example, grab 1 RMB or even less, but it creates these kind of surprises. And also, when people send you lucky money, then it's always about happy things. And that's why WeChat Pay actually was launched much later than Alipay, but actually it gets more and more popular than Alipay. So by utilizing the latest technologies combined with these emotional demands, then WeChat Pay is different from Alipay. Or these 2 days we have sent 2 EP9, and our users paid by black card. It's more about an identity. And then I can give you another example. Previously, I delivered a speech at WeWork, talked about the future of mobility. Actually, part of our colleagues, they're working at WeWork. Why? And also, my wife's company is also based in WeWork.
It's like, do you really want to make the office more flexible? It's more than that. Like previously, we had riggers. You can, but for example, WeWork will have a lot of activities. For example, on Monday, they will cater for your breakfast. It creates engagement and communication among people working there. You can know a lot of people there. And why WeWork is becoming that popular today? Because it can satisfy your desire to get to know different people in the age of digital. We want to know more interesting people. We want to join a community. This community can give you inspirations. So WeWork is not only about co-working space, it's more about a community. People working there, they're very energetic, they're willing to share. I think it's very interesting. They also use some latest new mobile internet technologies, provide you with the opportunities to get to know more people. That's the traditional offices could not do in the past. And also some knowledge sharing platforms. Learning is transforming as well. For example, I graduated from Peking University. Actually, what Peking University has taught me is more about this title. And then I knew some people from this university. Actually, what I learned from Peking University, I have forgotten most of them. And to be honest, now I know more than the teacher who taught me computer science in the college. I still remember at college there was a question like, what kind of system is DOS? And I answered DOS is a disk operation system, but actually the answer is DOS is a very user-friendly system. So Peking University brought me more about emotional experience and spiritual experience. Or a New Oriental group, it helps you to study abroad. Essentially, it helps you to get higher marks in these exams. And also we have some knowledge sharing platforms like NetEase, Open Courses. They use some latest technologies, but still it's too practical. It's only about learning a skill or learning knowledge. But if you look at TED, it's different. It's designed to inspire ideas. It's not to teach you how to manage a company or how to acquire skills. It's more about satisfying your desire to new ideas. Of course, it also used the latest video technologies like live streaming. So you can see in education field, if you integrate emotional experience and technologies, you will bring about surprises. So I can give you a metaphor. The third quadrant, less related to technologies. For example, safety of a car is in the third quadrant. It's not that highly related to the technologies. And the second quadrant, more focused on the emotional experience. It's like decoration of your home. Like the color of the house is more emotional. It has nothing to do with technology.
And as for the fourth quadrant, it's related to the latest technologies. For example, it's like the body of the building, like the glass. We use a high-strength glass to build the body. Otherwise, we will need to use many pieces of glasses. So what makes us truly different from other booths actually is people, including us and you. So we have provided very different definition to Neo House. For the foundation body of the building, actually they're all quite similar to each other. But for decoration, maybe this can be a little different. But what truly distinguishes the buildings are people. What kind of people are working and living inside the buildings? What are they thinking? What are they doing? So if we use this analogy, then you will know what truly matters, which is related to technology development and emotional experience. The people of the building, they provided soul to the buildings. If we look at a car brand, many years ago, we believed that the car ownership experience is not just about safety, space, and acceleration. If we keep talking about this with a car brand, actually that's not interesting. It's like you keep talking about the foundation for the building. Of course, you need to have a good foundation, but if that's the only thing you talk about, that's not interesting at all. So can we talk about something else? So can we talk about whether the car is easy to use? How about the app of the car? Is it good to use? If I buy your car, do you provide something different other than the car? So we redefine the car ownership experience in 4 aspects. We believe that the experience is not just about the functions of the car. Of course, for the performance of the car, of course, that's a must. That's the foundation. If the car is bad, then of course we're not qualified. Before, maybe if you have a good car, you have a full score, but right now it's not enough. We believe that 3 things are rather important. The first thing is the service experience. How do we apply the latest technologies to improve service experience? We need to make sure that we do not only meet the daily use requirements, we can only meet emotional needs. So can we provide worry-free service? We use mobile internet technologies to connect all the facilities and connect all the related people so that we can just use one click to get all the services and it's worry-free. And then that's very different. And that's experience improvement brought by technology development. The third thing is the digital touch points. So it's not just about autonomous driving. We need to talk about the emotional experience improvement brought by autonomous driving. If we just talk about autonomous driving, it's just about function improvement. The fourth aspect is, after you buy the car, what kind of difference can we bring to your life? What's the difference between Neo car owners and the car owners of other brands? So that's the logic behind our business model. So we have a lot of thoughts based on that. So we can categorize the service items into different quadrants. For example, the car is the foundation. It has to be a good car. It has to be a high-performance car. It has to be a safe car. It has to be a car that has competitive edge over other cars in the auto show. So that's the high-performance 7-seater SUV. And as for service, it's worry-free. It's not that difficult. It's about whether we want to do it or not. So infrastructure, the chargers, power mobile, power swap stations, service staff, new users, make sure that we connect all of them, and we can do the dispatch based on the cloud. technologies. In this case, we can provide the one-click service experience. And when it comes to the digital touch points, so why do we have NOMI? So that's related to the emotional experience. As we all know, a lot of companies, they provide voice control. But the emotional experience is not good. It's like you're talking to thin air. If you're not sitting here, if I'm giving a speech to the air, doesn't it make it so strange? That's why we have NOMI. We want something concrete, and it represents the car to communicate with you. You feel that the car is not a cold machine. It's warm, it's like your companion. It has emotions and feelings. So we use AI NOMI to provide good emotional experience. It's not just voice control, because that's only functional experience. Take seats, for example. So as for auto show, the space is rather limited and expensive. So we are the first to invite so many Nobel laureates and guest speakers to provide this talk. They may not have direct relationship to cars, but I believe this kind of talks and sharing will let the users know that NIO is a very different company. Our goal is not to become a car company. Our goal is to share knowledge and grow together with the users. We want to be a user enterprise. We want to create a community of users, and we have the app. As for the first step, it's not just cars and also the malls, etc. They're not key to survival, but having this, it makes us different from other car companies. As for all the functions of the NIO house, the second floor is exclusive to our users, and as for our app, it's a completely different app. We connect car, people, service together. It's an online community, and as for NIO house, it's an offline space where we can grow together. So NIO focus on car, service, digital touch points, car life, beyond the car. We're trying to redefine user experience based on these four aspects. We hope that through our efforts, we can guide the car industry to treat users better, provide better service to users. We hope that through our efforts, we can redefine car ownership experience and push forward changes in this industry. That's it for my talk. Thank you. So thank you for your talk. That's quite inspiring. So we have time for 3 questions.
我们这样，我们先后边那位朋友吧，好吗？谢谢。你好，谢谢平哥。
William, thank you. What do you think of Tesla? Do you see Tesla as NIO's competitor? So usually we won't comment on our competitor. And today is a live broadcast. I believe that Tesla is a company with pioneering spirit, but we focus on different things. Tesla puts special focus on performance. Of course, our performance is already better than Tesla 100D. We focus more on users and holistic user experience, and that differentiates us from other companies. And if you look at Beijing Auto Show, we are the only company that define our booth from users' perspective. So we are a company from a different era, because Tesla was established in 2003. So from my perspective, they use the internet mindset, but not mobile internet mindset. If you look at our apps, you know that we are very different companies. Of course, cars are still quite similar. Just like when I mentioned the foundation is the car. Of course, our foundation is quite solid. I'm not quite sure what the house will look like, but we know that the people who stay in the house is different, and that's what we focus on. So we focus on different things. Of course, Tesla is a very remarkable company.
好，这位先生。
李总您好。
你好。
我是来自南海通用航空有限公司。
So I'm from Nanhai, our GM company.
未来这个车的时候呢
When I learned about the new car,
就是停止了采购一款国外电动车的计划。
we stopped our plan to purchase the EV from overseas.
现在是中国最南端的地方，叫三沙市永兴岛。
So we're from the most southern part of China. It's on the Yongxing Island, so it's from the most southern part of China. So actually, we focus on environmental friendly technologies. So as for our past experience and the scope of work for the company, so we want to take NIO to our island, like Zhubi Island, Meiji Island, etc. Back in 2008, so we had the most difficult task there. So we can also take the car to the highest mountain. So that's quite meaningful to us. We can make it happen this year. Because today you focus on emotional experience. So I believe that we focus on similar things, like Nansha Islands. So we're trying to make it happen because it's pretty challenging. So I'm asking you whether we have an opportunity to collaborate. We can talk about the details offline. Thank you. Of course, our goal is to make sure that we can drive our cars anywhere in the country.
平哥您好，你好。那个，首先您刚才讲的那个，我觉得干货满满。但是我
So you share a lot of deep thoughts.
问一下未来背后的事情，因为
So my question is about what's behind NIO. So NIO is a great company that you have built, and as we know, you have invested in a lot of good companies. So I want to know what are your thoughts on investment. Thank you, especially for your early investment.
这个今天好像我这样。基本上来讲，我现在就是按照我现在刚才分享的这个用户体验变革模型。
So just I share my thoughts on the model of transforming user experience. Actually, I invest companies based on that model. I just invested a company, and actually use this model to look at the furniture industry to see what are the opportunities for transformation. I believe that that's a very good model as a reference for investment.
我觉得就因为我并不是讲去提高效率这件事情，提高功能这个事情是不对的。我希望大家不要去误解。
So I'm not trying to say that we need to focus on functions, but for the true innovation and transformation, they come from the first quadrant of the model. That's rather interesting. For Ctrip and Ulama, those are quite big companies. I'm not saying that they're not good companies. For each quadrant, there could be good companies, but I believe that the true innovators will focus on the first quadrant of the model. I believe that that could be a reference for your investment. Last question.
Hi, William. We are a family. Very glad to hear your sharing. Just as you have mentioned, Peking University brought you more about spirit and emotional experience, and actually, NIO symbolizes a spirit as well. So, I want to ask about your philosophy and your belief. So, as this kind of a spiritual leader of NIO, what is your personal belief? It's a very good question. For a company who wants to travel far, then you need to have your own long-term vision and your values. At the very beginning, maybe you want to show this to the outside world, but actually this is more about your own self. So when we establish NIO, we spend a lot of time discussing our vision and our values. So from a broad perspective, we want to bring back the blue sky. Through our efforts, we want to have more people like electric vehicles. And by providing this experience beyond expectations, more and more people choose to drive EVs. So that I can see that the technologies could change the world into a better direction. And for NIO itself, we hope we could shape a joyful lifestyle. Internally, we have a value system. We have 4 value principles: honesty, care, vision, action. We hope that every colleague of NIO and even every user of NIO, if you treat NIO brand as a person, we hope this person could be a reliable friend who has vision and taste. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. So before we end the seats, we still have a special session. Like NIO as an entrepreneur, William is very super nice to the users. So our users, they want to feedback to William as well. So we have a user friend who has brought a gift. I don't know what is the mysterious gift. So this year NIO has been entitled with a lot of awards. So we brought you a mysterious gift. It's quite heavy. These are the signatures of new fans, about 130 fans. And also the marking, you can see the logo is very beautiful. And it's very carefully crafted. Do you have the list of the 130 fans? Can you send the list to me? You can call me Mr. Xiang. I come from Wenzhou. I'm a ESA owner. Thank you. We can talk offline. I'm too excited. It's very specially designed. It's very beautiful. I need to give you a hug. So how many friends are here? I mean, among these 130 fans. I know this friend from Anhui. Okay, we can have a talk after the seats talk. Thanks everyone for attending. Thank you.
好的，谢谢各位朋友们。那今天的 seats 到这里就要结束了，让我们再次感谢斌哥。那给大家预告一下，在明天下午2点半，我们将迎来本次车展 seats 课堂的最后一位大咖，德国 RSA 设计集团合伙人及主持建筑师庄子玉先生。再次感谢大家的到来和关注，谢谢大家，明天见。